I'm gonna be Wilson again. It's like, Heidi ho, neighborino. Make this one with a pair of underwear I have. And then there's a Hello Kitty poking her head out of one of them. It's super silly and super adorable at the same time. Oh, the cat has taken over my spot. Oh, hey, Gabby. Yeah. Hi, honey. Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you guys are doing fan-flippin-tastic. Man, I tell you what, it has been a week. It feels like forever. Hold on, I gotta actually find my music. There it is. Alright, yeah. It's been a little bit of a weird day. Like, I haven't really been sleeping for, like, 2 weeks. I got 3 hours of sleep last night. That counts, right? And Whiskey, I feel like I do know you. And I know, so you've been following this channel since November 28th of 2022. Draconic, my friend, my dear, thank you so much. 25 months, over 2 years, my friend, over 2 years. Holy crap. Whiskey, I feel like I should know, and you've been sub for 2 months, so, like, my goldfish brain, you guys know I got a goldfish brain, and I'm struggling over here. Oh, boy, howdy. You gotta give us another clue. Purple's right. We need another clue. We need a clue. We need a clue. Yeah, I'm gonna figure it out, and then I'm gonna feel like an idiot. That's for sure. Happy Friday, y'all. It is the night into the weekend. I am so happy. I don't think it's Kim. When would? Yeah, no, I don't think it's Kim. Clue 2, we have met in person. You would think that would help. I am lucky if I remember anybody's name. Okay, we have met in person, but where have we met in person? Where have we met in person? Because we've known each other, obviously, for 2 years now. Who has? Purple, I think she means her and I have met. I'm assuming it's a her because it's a Juliet. So, yeah. I hope y'all are doing well. I hope you had a good weekend. Clue 3, you are amazing. TJ? You can't be TJ. TJ is TJ. Yes? Oh my goodness. Look at you. Did you change your name? See, that's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair. I beat you up, woman. Yes, your spy name. So wait, are you following me on 2 different accounts then? Or did you just, like, swap your... Because that's what I've told everybody. And, guys, I see all of y'all who have been following offline. You guys have been fantastic. I know all of you are pretty much from the Sprout Quilt Challenge. Thank you so much for following and coming for the interviews and everything. And I know I've talked a little bit about it in different interviews I've done and articles and stuff for Twitch. You know, typically we don't want to be using our first and last name when we make a handle for the first time on Twitch and everything, because we need a little bit of anonymity, right? Because there's weird people all over the world, right? And it's not just here on Twitch, but like on Twitter and all that. So, no, you needed a better username. I got you. Your going live notification pulled me away from Pale World. I didn't realize how late it was for me. I'm sorry, Draconic. Oh, man, Pale World has been so good. I haven't gotten to play, but I've been watching a lot of it. I don't know if you got my message about the server thing. So, yeah. We'll definitely have to, figure that out, because I'm on Xbox Gaming Pass for a little while. But before I really get into it, because speaking of late, our guest tonight, Kim Ratchford from Stitch and Purple, super excited. She's in the East Coast too, so this is pretty late for everybody. Hey Joe! Hey Joe! So we're gonna do a shorter stream tonight, and we're gonna get into it really quick. But I did want to shout out, over here. Thank you. I see that our number went up again for HelloFresh. I really appreciate you guys. We're a HelloFresh partner for the 2nd year in a row, and the sponsorship goes a long way to helping support a lot of the things I do, like our streaming and our giveaways and our free blogs and patterns and all the good stuff. So, you know, I will definitely, let me put... No, not at, silly goober. There we go. So the command is in the chat. If you just even want to link, you know, hit the link and just check it out, I'd be appreciative. It makes me look good for the sponsors, right? So we're gonna stream right into it, and I'll probably hit again on the Salouty stuff later. And so hey Kim.
Hey.
I know I had you sitting in limbo there for a little while. We had somebody in the chat who kind of gave us a puzzle that made my brain hurt.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So,
Okay, so
let's see if you can solve this, okay?
No.
Right? No,
Okay.
this person it's a name, and they're subscribed to my channel. So obviously they've been around before, and they've been following the channel for almost 2 years now, right? And their username is Whiskey Tango Juliet. Okay? And they go, I know you. You know me. Do you know who I am? I'm like, I have no fucking idea. Like, I have no idea who you... It's TJ. TJ changed her username. So I was like, oh, you sneaky little bitch. Like, hell... Oh, she says hi, by the way.
Hey, TJ.
Yeah, even just clicking the link helps. Yes, exactly, Draconic. I appreciate that. Yeah. Hi, Stitch.
See, when you said Kim a while ago, I'm like, who?
I I know. Well, and see, that's the thing. So here's the TLDR, guys. So I made a Discord for our Soe people, our group, our people. Um, and Kim's name was Stitched in Purple. So I just started calling her Stitched because that's what you do in this neck of the woods, right? Whether it's streaming or gaming or Discord, whatever. Like, you call each other by your handle that you've written. So it just came naturally to call her Stitched, right? And that's what I've been doing for like 2 years now. It's a bit hard to hear Stitched, really? Is it really hard to hear her? I can turn her up easily enough. Alright, try now.
How about now?
Woo! Now I think we're a little loud. Alright, let me turn you down just a little bit. Alright. I can also turn my music down a little bit. I like having background music, but I'd rather hear you. That was good on our end? Oh, the one before where it was the 123% or so? Alright, we'll stick around there. Anyway, so back to my story. So I call Stitch Stitched. And now, to be honest, Stitch, I started calling you Kim because you kind of were starting to make remarks about how I called you Stitch and how nobody's going to know who you are because nobody else calls you Stitch.
True.
So
But now all of y'all call me Stitched. I mean, I even get email addressed to Stitched.
is that because we started calling you Stitched, or is that because your business is because of us?
I think I need shirts with Stitched on them.
I think you do too. I think you do. Well, you're welcome. Stitched is it's a good way to remember you. I mean, like, if you're gonna have a nickname, it might as well be something on brand.
Mm-hmm.
Now when people talk about Kim, I don't know who it is. Yeah. Whiskey says she needs a shirt too. So that's marketing right there, Stitch. So yeah, so it was one of those things where I started calling you Kim again because we were in different like Zoom meetings and chats and things, and like I felt weird.
Just keep going with Stitch.
Okay.
Just keep going with Stitch.
I like that so much better. It feels so much more natural for me.
I mean, you know, we were roommates in Houston.
We were.
You called me Stitch then. You didn't call me Kim. So,
I can't help
it.
Sounds
funny. Kim sounds funny coming from you.
It feels funny coming from me.
Right. So in our other groups, in our other organizations, other lives, whatever, just keep saying Stitched.
Okay.
If we have to
It'll catch on. It'll catch on. People will get it.
It will. It will.
Well,
it makes perfect sense.
It makes sense to me. I mean, it's easy to remember. It's on brand, right?
It is.
Yeah.
So I need more T-shirts with just stitched in purple.
Yep. With like an emblem or something, right? Because I know you have your ones with your logos. Yep. Yep. But it'd be kind of fun to have one that said Stitched and then have a thread coming off with a needle that's kind of like sticking through the T, maybe.
Well, maybe I keep the same circular stitch pattern with the needle and just put Stitched.
Yeah, you could. And just abbreviate it. That would be something to do. So, my dear friend, you happen to be one of the designers this week for the Sprout Quilt Challenge. And yeah, I know, I'm so excited. How are you liking this week? Like, have you been noticing a lot of downloads and a lot of feedback from people about your blog and all that kind of thing? Like, what's your experience so far?
So far the interaction has been, which colors did I use? The light color in the Allison Glass line that we chose. From the photos, people can't tell which of the three lights.
If it's the lavender. Yeah, because I think you used the lavender, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. I'll probably end up using the white. I haven't made yours yet. I haven't made Adele's either. I just finished TJ's last night.
Well, I didn't buy extra of the white.
Yeah.
I just bought the fat quarter bundle, but I bought extra yardage of the colors that I chose. So
That makes
since I
sense.
didn't buy extra of the white,
You just stuck
um,
with the lavender,
mhm,
yeah.
mhm, yeah.
Are you planning on making a full quilt with the block?
Right now, no. I do have a full quilt designed with it,
Yeah.
but um, it is not coming out soon.
Okay.
It won't be soon. I have a few things that jumped ahead.
Yeah. That kind of happens in our line of work,
Mhm,
right?
mhm,
Well, I was just kind
mhm.
of curious cuz um on the back end of things, you are very unique. I mean, not like super unique. I am on sleep deprived, so like I'm gonna be
Ah,
more goldfish as normal, guys. I'm so sorry. Poppy goes, what the fuck? I think she's upset that you're not gonna have the full pattern soon, but that's okay. It'll come. It'll come. But you are
it's
in the
already
position.
designed. I
It
just
is.
have to
You just have to
do
make
all
it.
the. Mhm.
Mm-hmm. And we got to find time, right? We got to duplicate ourselves at least once or twice to get everything done. But you are in a
Exactly.
unique position where you have been in this industry for a while, and a few of us have, but you have been making your living, your entire living, from the quilting industry during that time versus like me and a couple others where we've been in here, but it's more like pennies coming in. We're not able to support ourselves fully. So you're able to do that. And I know that you had a little bit of pushback from your community about this Sprout Quilt Challenge, and you had come back and were a little trepidatious when we had talked last. How are you feeling about it now that the block is actually out and people are actually making it? How are you feeling about it now?
Well, it's kind of like two different audiences. The people who would make that particular block, the new bloom block,
Yeah.
aren't necessarily my bread and butter long arm clients.
Right.
I may have one or two that would make it, but when we originally designed or came up, well, when Jody came up with this idea and we started talking, it was all about technique,
Right.
and our ideas kind of morphed into the style. You're an art quilter, Jody is totally modern. And then, some of the others are this or that, but it just kind of went really modern, which is not what my core customer is.
Right.
So, um, just two different groups of people.
Right.
So I just have to learn to work with that, and I'm kind of excited. At first I was really nervous about it. Um, because um my clients are more than my clients. They've become my friends.
Yeah.
Most of them I didn't know from Adam at all. I have several that I know about their families, where they work, this and that. I've never met them. They live a world away from me. They've become my friends. I don't want to push them away. I
Right.
don't want them thinking I'm doing something completely different than what they joined in my group for.
Right.
They're still my friends. They're still my clients. I'm still the same me.
Right.
Um, but my block was all about the half rectangle triangle. Has
Right.
nothing to do with super modern or
No.
super edgy or whatever. It's about my block is about learning
Learning a
to do the
technique.
half rectangle triangle
Yeah.
without a specialty ruler.
Which I think is a
Period.
great skill to
Period.
learn, right? Like it's
Well,
not something you see
yeah,
normally.
yeah. Well, the half rectangle triangle has been kind of a hot topic for a couple of years now, and it's really out there. You'll see lots of patterns with the half rectangle triangle, but you'll also see lots of
tools.
specialty rulers
Yeah.
that are, and don't get me wrong, I'm an acrylic princess. I love my rulers.
I love that. Oh my gosh, I love that. You need a shirt that says acrylic princess.
Well, I couldn't say queen because I know somebody that calls herself the acrylic
Oh,
queen.
I gotcha.
I used to work with her. Um,
Ah.
but so I say princess. Anyway, um, yeah, I'm all for the specialty rulers. Anything to make your job faster and accurate,
Yeah.
I'm for it. But in what we were doing with our whole quilt with the various blocks,
Yeah.
these techniques are new to so many people. The
It
people
is.
who have signed on to join may not have ever done some of these techniques. Why would you spend 25 or $50 on a specialty tool to try it for the first time?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that was my goal, to write it in such a way. It was a challenge to me,
Mm-hmm.
but to write it in such a way that you could do it with just your basic quilting ruler.
Mm-hmm. Joe says it's new to her, and it's new to me too. And I will
Mhm.
say that it's new to a lot of the people in our challenge. I feel like
Yes,
a lot of this has been new for a lot of the people, and
exactly.
I keep hearing over and over again how happy and how thankful and how much they're enjoying this
Mhm,
project. And
mhm.
so that really makes me happy that like we could do this in such a way that's
Yeah, yeah,
new and
yeah.
different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we heard that last night in the Zoom,
Mhm.
that Joe is hosting, that the blocks they were working on last night, some had never done a Dresden
Yeah.
and, you know, different things. And then like with yours, I know we're going back in time, but with your applique,
Mhm.
it's like, have they done raw edge or is it turned under or, all the different stuff. Yeah, it's all new.
Yeah.
It's all new to a lot of people.
Well, and like it's so funny because at least for me, doing applique is my specialty. I get a lot of people who are kind of like, oh, applique, I don't want to touch that. And it's the same thing with
Mhm,
English paper piecing. I get it on both ends. Oh, English paper, I can't do. I'm glad Susan touched it and like showed
mhm.
ways. We've shown like two
Oh,
different
yeah.
ways, machine wise, to do it,
Mhm.
and people are so thankful for that because, our hands are getting.
Exactly.
But so to be able to even just reintroduce techniques that people have heard of, but in a
Mhm.
way that's maybe more approachable for them and allows them to open up, this world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like you said with the EPP, the way that Susan came up with the idea of how to basically top stitch.
Yeah, the way it's
Yes.
layered. Yeah.
Yes. We're both doing the
And I
same
hadn't I hadn't
stuff.
seen it done that way before. Like I've seen it
Mhm.
side by side with the zigzag, right?
Exactly.
But I hadn't seen it done with the layering like that, and
Mhm.
it's a little more of a puzzle, and you got to really kind of think it through.
It's kinda like a hybrid between an applique and butting up the seams.
Yeah. And you still
So
don't
it's
have to do Y seams.
partial.
As long as you
Nope.
figure it out right.
Mhm.
Joe says, I appreciate not having to need a special ruler, especially since the closest quilt shop is 2 hours away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
wow.
far drive. I
Okay,
I don't like
I'd be
buying,
shopping online, Joe.
right? But there's something about going in, and we've had this conversation before. Like,
Mhm.
there's something about going into a quilt shop and feeling the fabric and actually
Yeah, have
seeing
to
it.
touch it.
Yeah,
Mhm,
like because I know
mhm,
there's the white that I used for pedal dance, right? That one specifically, I've seen same SKU, same number, same everything, and sometimes it's like really gray, and sometimes it's like really white, depending on if they edit it or not. And then you get it, and I think the best description I saw someone say is it's more of a green white. It's like a gray
mm,
green.
mhm,
And it's like,
mhm.
okay, I could see that if you put it like next to a really crisp white, like, all right, it's kind of greeny and gray and kind of
Right,
muddy, right? But with
right.
its own ecosystem of colors, it's white, right?
Mhm.
So you don't get that unless you actually go to a shop and physically see it, right?
True, true.
So, um, what are we talking about? Purple says you need to open one up, Joe. And Joe says, "Oh, I sure do shop online way too much. Sometimes it takes me a while for items to arrive." Yeah, I could see that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How
I.
long does it take
How long
for
does it take,
Joe to
Joe?
get?
We're nosy. I like to know all the things. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I don't honestly like buying rulers and all that stuff. Like I'll
Oh,
buy the regular ones and stuff. I will buy a specialty if it's like, for example, Jade Bird's Hexamore stuff. Like I will buy those
habit,
because I have several of
habit.
her patterns and I've made several of her things and I know I like the ruler and I know I'm going to use it because she utilizes it and everything else she does. But some of these
Mhm.
is like, all right, why am I going to buy your specialty tool for one quilt that I've made of yours? I don't even know if I like the way you do things or I'm going to like
That's
the
the
way this
point.
ruler does. I
Exactly.
mean, even like Jaybirds, it's still, if I haven't touched it in a while, it takes a while for my brain to wrap around because you're like flipping back and forth and up and down to make sure that you're like getting the right cuts and stuff.
Right.
It's just hard.
Well, Jaybirds is pretty unique. There's maybe one that's close to one of hers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but in general, I find that if you find a brand that you like,
Yeah.
stick with that brand
Oh.
because there's just a few little details that are specific to a certain brand, and if you start flipping back and forth, you
Get used to one
plan.
and then you don't. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I have a project that's in a box in the bottom of a closet because of that. So I learned that firsthand.
Yeah. Joe says sometimes 3 days, sometimes 2 weeks. From the States, 4 weeks. I feel like it's all random.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because Joe's in Canada. So
Mhm.
those Canadians, I mean, and like Adele's in the UK.
Mhm.
And I sent everybody's Christmas cards at the same time, and just seeing the different times of when they're getting them is just really interesting to me. Yeah.
Well, for me, Adele got hers from me before Lori got hers from me. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
know about how the rest of it went, but I
Yeah.
just thought that was strange.
Yeah, I was really late though. I own up to that. I was late in sending my Christmas cards.
Well, um, I I I got several after Christmas,
Yeah.
but I think my mail delivery person may have put them in the wrong box
Oh,
because I got several delivered. I don't
like all
remember
at
what
once kind of thing. Like,
Mhm,
oh.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Yep.
Joe says it's so hard to find staff in this town. So many oil field wives and kids that don't need to work. Huh.
Oh.
Interesting. Joe mailed hers out December 27th, she says.
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, whatever
Okay.
works. As long as it got there, it
Right.
was just nice getting Christmas cards for a change. Because, like,
Yeah, it
when I was a
was.
kid, that was one of the nice things. The parents got the cards, and my mom would put them, sticky tape on the back and put it up
Mhm,
on the door, and the whole door would be covered in Christmas cards. And,
mhm.
like, I'm terrible when it comes to actually writing Christmas cards and just cards in general. It's just not something that, like, my generation really does.
I don't.
But cards are so expensive too. And like I remember in high school it was easier to make cards because there's an actually like good program to make them and print them off on your computer. So I could make
Mhm.
invitations. Something must have happened because that program, they should still be in business. You know what I mean? But it's nowhere.
Is it no, I didn't go down this route very far, but is it maybe because of the scrapbooking and that community
I
did
don't know.
more than just printing?
I don't know. It might be that. It might be the card business in general, cuz if people are
Maybe.
printing it off on their computers, then why go out and buy a card, right?
True.
I don't know.
True.
Who knows? It's just kind of one of those things that you notice. Like,
Mhm. Yeah. I'm not good at sending cards, so
no. Well, and it's hard because most of the people we know anymore are
mhm.
online, and you typically don't know somebody's address unless you become really close friends, and then we do a Christmas card thing or something, right? But otherwise, like, we're not a local little town where everybody knows, like, where everybody's at and needs to know because they're dropping their kids off or whatever, right?
Right.
So it's just a different style of community nowadays, right?
Okay, so in keeping with what you're describing there about different community and everybody's online, think about our group.
Mm-hmm.
We are in 3 different countries,
Yep.
and um I would say that we're all fairly close,
Yeah.
and some combination of us talk to each other, sometimes face to face like this, screen time every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day. Is
At
that not the coolest
least, at
thing?
least once a
Yes.
week.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're on Zoom, Discord, Twitch,
Yep.
Instagram, you know,
It is so
texting.
important to have that connection, in my
Mhm.
opinion. It
Yeah.
and honestly, even before like I really got to know you guys and we had the Discord and we started meeting more
Mhm.
excuse me, more often,
Mhm.
I'm a nerd, obviously, but I'm in a D&D group. And our D&D group is again all over the country. And
Yeah.
we meet once a week. We've met once a week for 5 years, 6 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's more like having brothers because they're
Mhm.
pretty much all younger than Osh and I, and
But you
it's
said once a week.
yeah,
We are every day.
that's true.
And
Well, and that's the kind of the funny thing. Like it's the same thing. Like I love our group, and I
mhm.
love how much we talk and how much we connect and all that kind of stuff. But I used to have a gaming group that was very similar, where we
Mhm.
would hang out and play games or hang out on Discord and just watch movies or whatever, and we were very close. But just like with everything in our lives, like when you're in high school or college or whatever, people come and go. It's like a swinging door in our
True.
lives.
True.
So I've learned to kind of let go a little because it was very hard for me when that gaming Discord group that I really felt really close to,
Mhm.
when that kind of like fell silent and like died out, it was like really
Mhm.
kind of sad for me and it was hard to let that go. And like you felt like, did I do something wrong? Is there something wrong with me? And it's like, no, we're all just in different seasons of our lives and we don't all have that same free time that we used to. So it's like
Mhm.
with this group, we all kind of have that underlying bond of like, here's quilting and we're businesspreneurs and all this other stuff. But again, we've already had one person who kind of changed her course in her life
No,
and
it's
has
true.
left, and we really haven't talked to her much, even though we still love her and miss her, you know.
Mhm.
But it's
Yeah.
again
Hey,
that revolving door of like people are going to come and go into our lives, and I'm more accepting of that, and just being
yeah.
appreciative and grateful for the people who are in my life today.
But that person you mentioned, she sent us good wishes when we started Sprout.
Did
As
she?
soon as Sprout was announced, yes, she did.
I'm gonna have to
Mhm.
reach out to her and see how she's doing because she's on my mind a lot.
Yeah,
And I'm trying to be better about when somebody enters my mind to actually reach out to them within that
exactly.
moment. Because, like,
Mhm.
how many of us just feel kind of lonely and like people don't, like we don't matter and we're invisible? And if we can
Exactly.
tell each other more often, hey, I'm thinking about you, I hope you're doing okay. Like,
Mhm.
how much important of an impact that would be in people's lives.
Mhm. Mhm.
Amanda's in the channel, first time chatter. I know I spend time driving
Wow.
Stitch crazy dang near daily.
Oh, pulling off bobbin thread. How
Pulling
much
off
bobbin
bobbin.
thread did
Oh
you
my god, my
unwind?
bobbin pissed me off last night when I was working.
Wow.
Oh man, I thought my machine was gonna break. Whiskey says I start getting worried when the interaction is low. Everyone is so amazing, and I love everyone. Yeah.
I when right before market when everybody was focused,
Yeah.
it was quiet.
It
And it
was
was like,
eerily quiet.
yes,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I'm missing everybody. I'm lonely. Where is
Yeah. We were
everybody? But
so
uh,
like down
we
to
were
the
all
grindstone.
busy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, finishing projects, getting things ready to go,
Because for a
tying up
lot of us, it
loose
was our
ends.
first market with our
It
businesses.
was it was my first.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like it was a big deal. Like, I don't know how stressed I'll be next if I go this year. I mean, I'll probably still be stressed, but...
I don't know. I don't know.
Amanda says, I found an obscene amount of fuzz in my bobbin case today, but at least I finished the quilt.
Oh. Where was the fuzz? Was it behind the backlash spring, or was it
See,
in
mine
the
is
where was
always
it?
in where, well, for mine, I'm sure you guys are talking about long arm machines, but for my
Mhm.
domestics, it's always in the bobbin case.
Mhm.
Uh, Poppy said, or Purple, it's Lori. It's
Yes.
so funny because everybody thinks it's you because it's
I know
purple, right?
purple.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But she says, I miss my phone going crazy when I'm at work when people are quiet. Because, it goes ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding,
Well,
ding.
see, I don't hear it on my phone. I hear it here.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if I have these on, I hear the ding, 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 and it is so hard not to run to my computer every time I hear it.
Well, and
Oh
see,
my
I've got it on my
God.
phone, and so, like, I get, like, ding, 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 ding. I'm like, okay, all right. Yeah, I can see it's a Discord. I'm not even looking right now. I gotta focus.
Right. Well, I don't get the dings. I do get a notification,
Yeah.
a banner,
Mm-hmm.
but it's delayed, really delayed on my phone.
Well, and
So,
that can also be a big deal if I don't know, because I know a lot of people here are new to Discord and new to like this side of like the technology. But if you
mhm,
leave your Discord open on your desktop to
mhm.
whatever like channel or page that is dinging, you're not going to get notifications because your desktop thinks you're sitting there and getting those
Oh,
visuals. So,
well, okay. So here's the secret. Y'all probably think I'm sitting here at my computer all day long. No. If I'm awake, this computer's on.
yeah.
So the minute I get up, it's on. And that's the last thing I do before I go to bed is shut it down.
Yeah.
So
I have to be
people
better
think I'm
about that. My
on all the
computer's
time.
been getting angry at me when I don't shut it down. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Jody's here. She says, I agree, it's
Hey,
hard
Jody.
not to keep checking.
Hmm.
Amanda says, focus, what is that? Also, I had to turn off the buzzing because you guys get busy when I'm attempting to nap.
Oh my goodness.
Nap? What is that? What are those things called
I know. Wow. Yeah, let's not talk about napping right now.
I know you and I both. It's late for you, and
Mm.
I'm
Um,
tired. I keep saying that I don't know if you get this way, but like when I'm tired and it's been a very stressful day, I get to like decision overload, right? And like I'll know I'm hungry, but I don't know what to
mhm.
eat. And I don't want whatever it is going to be made or whatever. And like Luke was so sweet, Ash was so sweet, and he came home and he's like, "Yeah, I'll grab something to make for dinner tonight, and I'll take care of it, and you just go down and work and da da da." Because he's a sweetheart, he really is. And he
Oh.
comes home and he tells me what he's gonna make, and he's gonna make chicken fajitas. And like, I felt like such a shit because I'm like, okay, I hope you guys enjoy that. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I'm not gonna eat that. He's like, why aren't you gonna eat it? I'm like, I don't like fajitas. He's like, I was gonna make it a
Oh.
different way. I didn't think you liked it. And I'm like, and then he didn't make it. He wouldn't make it
What do
because I
you
wasn't gonna eat it. So then,
what don't you like about fajitas?
I don't like the onion and the peppers and all of that. Like, that's just not. I'll eat shishuka. I don't know if you've ever had that. Um, and that
Yes, yes,
is,
yes.
yeah, and it has a lot of onions and pepper and tomato and all that. But I can
Like
get
the
around
tomato
that.
sauce, like with the eggs in
Yeah,
it. Mhm,
exactly. But I can get
mhm,
around that because there's egg in it and it's kind of like a sauce and I'm using my bread to dip, right?
mhm,
And I've cooked
mhm,
down the onions and everything enough into the tomato sauce that it's kind of like a marinara almost. So,
mhm.
you miss a good
Or
fajita, Joe?
salsa.
Well, then you're more than welcome to come over and because he's gonna make it at some point. But like, I was just cranky, and he's like, "You should go to bed." I'm like, "I can't. I have work to do." He's like, "All right, well then, da 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 da." And I'm like, "Well, no, you need to make dinner and eat." He's like, "I'm not eating until you eat," because he knows when I get this way, I won't eat. And unless he
Mhm.
like stands his ground and says, "I'm not gonna budge on this," then eventually I come around and like, "All right, fine, I'll eat." But I'm such a shit that way. I don't know if you like get that way with yourself or anything.
I kind of zone out and I find myself staring off into space or
In your
this,
phone.
you know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And start
Uh-oh.
scrolling.
Uh-oh. They're talking about long arm machines now, Stitch.
Oh, what are they saying?
Well, so we've got Lori asking Oshemi if he's found a used long arm yet. Because I don't know if you've heard the update on this conversation, because you know that we've been seriously looking, or Oshemi's seriously
Well,
looking.
I want to hear the update because depending on what the update is, I may have something to add. I've been thinking about this.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So the last conversation that we had,
Mm-hmm.
Oshemi found he's been looking, and he found
Mm-hmm.
one that would be about 12K with software. It's
Mm-hmm.
about 5K, and I believe it's a Janome brand long arm machine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we'd have to buy the software for him to do edge to edge, because that
Mm-hmm.
was one thing we talked about. It's like, all right, that's great, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but you need the software if you're gonna do edge to edge, dear. Like that's just
Mm-hmm.
what we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your input
Um, Stick to what your original plan was
with the
with the
Innova?
with the my updated thought is why wait for Luke to do it? Why not buy a long arm now? Let him play in his off time, but with the goal of you doing it too.
So the whole reason why we haven't really pulled the trigger.
Hmm.
Amanda says she does not recommend Janome as a business machine. So
I
that's
agree. I wasn't gonna say it.
well, no. I'd rather you guys tell me, right?
Hmm.
Because I only have a domestic, so I don't know, and
Yeah.
I'm really smitten with the Innova. But our whole thing is like we can't afford it, right?
Hmm.
And trying to find financing, like even just buying damn groceries. Like Luke went out for Staples the other day for like milk and bread and stuff, and it was $90. That wasn't even for a meal. And like it's like how are people making it? Like no one's.
Exactly.
So the
Exactly.
idea of trying to add another payment of
Hmm.
some sort on top is like really daunting right now.
Well, a lot of people, I was not this way, and I don't know about any of the others in our group, but a lot of people, when they buy a long arm, they go into business just long enough to pay for the long arm. And
Right.
then as soon as it's paid off, then they
They're
go back to
to
just
doing
doing their own.
themselves, yeah.
Hmm.
But the way Oshemi has it planned, he's doing like a whole branch of our business would be streaming the long arm machine and doing edge to edge and all that kind of stuff. And he wants to play with AI interactions and there's all kinds of things we could do with it. And there's actually Wormwood Gaming. They have a channel. I haven't seen them go live in a while, but
Hmm.
when they would go live, they had like 4 different cameras that they would have, and the viewers could like pick which one they wanted to see, and it was like just different machines working, and it was that
Hmm.
ASMR kind of thing going on.
Right. So, so what about coming up with your business plan for one machine? Because I've talked to y'all about having two machines,
Yeah,
but one machine with the computer, and just go in it with the goal of do drum up enough business to cover the cost.
right,
Okay, let that happen while you get all the other stuff ironed out, like the cameras and this and that, and
right.
then go.
Well, and the whole thing is like the camera thing. That's not like a big deal for us because we've got cameras here, right? So
Hmm.
it isn't like I'm really having to invest more into more cameras or anything like
Where's
that.
it gonna live? Where's the long arm gonna
It'll be
live?
in this room on the other side of this computer because
Okay,
that's where we have the space for it, right? I would
okay.
lose the rest of like my studio area that is just filled with boxes right now anyway because like I need to
Mhm.
sort all my fabric into shelves. But we haven't
Right.
built any shelves in yet because we were planning on building shelves in and having all that in another cutting area. But
Mhm.
that's where the long arm will go. But again, we come back to the point of like I'm not worried about the camera setup or the streaming setup. It's more of of affording. it. Even with a business plan, like, and the nice thing about with the Innova specifically, and I know other machines do this too, but like we could actually get financing through the company, right? And that's something we can do. Gingerberry says check out Grace Quinique. Affordable, but can do lots the big guys can.
Unique.
Okay.
Yes. And when I said that about Janome a while ago,
yeah,
I don't think any of the machines that are out there are bad machines.
right.
Just some can handle the workload and some cannot.
Right.
And if Jody says hers can,
then you
'cause I
trust
think
it.
I think that's what she has.
Well, and you guys are all like really accomplished quilters. So,
Yeah,
like when you guys
mine
give me
gets
opinions,
used. Mine gets used.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's the main like foundation of your business, though.
And so far, now you know what's going to happen as soon as I say this, but so far, all the maintenance I've done on my own.
Yeah.
And if I've run into anything, I have we have a phone number. Innova owners have phone numbers on the machine
to call.
And
well, and I think that was the thing.
With the owner.
Because at least, like, for me, even though I haven't owned a longarm machine, my mom, when I lived and took care of her and all that, she had a George. Well, she still has the George. But I took all the maintenance and took care of it and all that kind of, like, tinkering and things and figuring out how the tension worked on that machine because it was such a bitch. Right. And oiling and cleaning all the lint and doing all the steps that you had to do every time you did a new project. And so, like, at least I know that much about it, and I know it's different for these other long arms. But for the most part, you're taking care of it yourself. And you have to load it and all this other stuff. And, you know.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about maintenance. Uh-oh, Lori, what's going on with your machine?
Again?
I don't know. I'm waiting. And Amanda says maintenance had to happen for Ava today. I love how everyone has a name for their machine. I love that. It's like a car, you know. Did you know that my tower for my desktop, I named it?
And the name is?
It's a narwhal. It's my narwhal.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It used to be the beast on my old tower, but we had, well, because, you know, and I've had this conversation before, and I think quilting can, with the long arms especially, can kind of go in the same way. Whereas a lot of us, like, in our parents' and grandparents' generations, the car was, like, that big investment, and you maintenanced it, you oil changed it, you took care of it, it got names, it had personalities, whatever, right? But for a lot of us, like, that's not... A computer, a gaming computer especially, can be $3,000, $5,000, $12,000, depending on what end of the spectrum you are. And people do their own maintenance and like to build it themselves. It's like their version of, it's like a modern car, right?
Yeah.
And like this tower was salvaged from my old tower that exploded. Not literally, but pretty much did. But so, yeah, so you guys having names for your machines too because you guys maintenance it and you take care of it and you're on it all the time. So, of course, it's going to have a personality. Yeah.
I talked to him.
Lori says it's fixed now.
Oh, good.
I don't know what happened to it. Yeah, Shikamaru says, yeah, my PC is a fickle bitch. Yeah, people can get really hot about, well, and especially because I know, like, for you, you're not necessarily, like, dialed into that, you know, computers and stuff like that. But graphics cards are a main important thing for gaming computers, can run $3,000. And when crypto mining was really big, forget about it. You couldn't find it. It was like trying, oh my god. I'm not going down that path. But it's the same kind of thing where it's a big investment, you know?
Hold up your other hand.
This one or this one?
Yeah, what happened?
Oh, this one? No. Oh, it's a thimble.
Oh, okay.
It's a thimble. Okay. It was here and I've been fidgeting. I have my thimbles here and I've been fidgeting.
Well, you know, I've got...
You've got your paper, yeah. Yeah, because I've been doing a lot of hand sewing. And I find that I like these ones a lot for my thimbles, right? But
I can use that kind. Okay.
my needle, I sit it here, right? And
Yes.
so I get holes in my hand, right?
Mm.
And so I had to find a different thimble that came all the way down, and the metal ones just are too clunky. So
So
I
hold that
found
one
this
up.
one.
Tell me about it.
So this one is imported from Little House, I believe.
Like the little house pans,
Yeah,
pan.
uh-huh.
Mhm.
I found them at H&H last year with TJ.
Mhm.
And found this. It's really comfortable. This one, you can kind of see it's a little blue and kind of worn out because this was the first one. And I had to order a new one, right? Because it's kind of getting worn out. I had to find an Etsy shop that actually would carry them, and it was in Scotland. Like, I had to order this all the way from Scotland in order to get it because I couldn't find anywhere else that had it. But Little House has such a huge barrier for wholesale ordering.
So is that leather on
Yeah.
the end?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like, I think it's like sheep or lamb or something, I think,
Mhm.
is what I've
And then
read.
is that elastic, the
Yeah, it's
blue
an
part?
elastic bottom because
Okay.
I know TJ has one, but hers has the elastic here and it's just a little piece. But I like
Mhm.
my elastic down here. I have to be careful though because my thread will get snagged because of
Mhm.
where I put my needle. So the
Mhm.
thread will kind of get snagged in there sometimes.
I could try. I might have to try that.
Yeah,
I I try and try and try, but I cannot use a thimble.
yeah.
But when I do a lot of binding, and you know this, that I can only do so much because my hands will
Mm-hmm.
get stiff. But I use a Band-Aid. I
Yeah,
wrap a Band-Aid.
sometimes I do that too, but like if I've already got a hole in there and like I can see the scar. You can't really see it on stream, but I can see the
Mhm.
scar of like how many times I've made a
Yeah.
hole there. But like the needle will work through the band-aid too.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I use the little moleskin dots,
Yeah. I don't like
little
those either.
circles.
They fall off for me.
They move. They
Yeah.
move. They slide. I wish I could find a thimble that worked.
You should try one of these. Are you
Uh,
speaking of H&H, are you coming? I know you've been talking about it and thinking about it.
I checked flights the other day, and maybe Saturday. Maybe Saturday. I
Flying
checked
in or
them.
flying out? Oh no, this week you mean. I gotcha.
I checked them Saturday
Yeah.
for H&H,
Right.
and the price of flights were down. I mean, way down.
Yeah.
But they're probably back up by now. But I can't say yes or no either way right yet.
Yeah.
I want to, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We will see. I'm watching all the socials, everybody talking about QuiltCon right now.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad I didn't go, to be honest. And like, I know I was gonna submit pedal dance to both Road to California and
Mhm.
QuiltCon,
Mhm.
and timing just didn't happen with that, with either of
Mhm.
them. And honestly, I kind of feel good about that because like Road to
Yeah,
California is happening right now.
it
Could you
is.
imagine me doing that on top of everything we're doing for Sprout?
True.
Like,
Well, and QuiltCon is what, 2 weeks? So QuiltCon is still within our Sprout
mm-hmm.
calendar.
Well, and I think we've talked a little bit about this where like I think pedal dance could have gotten into QuiltCon, but even though it's like really hard to get in there,
Mhm.
but like the the crowd isn't exactly my crowd for QuiltCon. You know, it's just I don't really fit in that box per se.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, and and I'm not worried about that. You know,
Yeah.
I think we're doing enough this year where I don't have to go to every show, right?
Well, yeah.
You know, maybe I should probably look at the AQS shows and actually submit for something like, the Patona or Long Beach or something. But
Maybe. Maybe.
yeah, I don't know. I don't feel. I mean, it's hard to say how I feel if whether it would even get in or not. Because, show quilts like that have to have a pretty good level of precision and quilting quality and all that kind of stuff. But then I look at, like, the quilt that I did get into Daytona, and I don't really think, compared to, like, what I see people do, I don't know if it deserved to get in there. You know what I mean? And
Well,
I
obviously
wondered,
it did if it got in.
well, the other thing is I think it was the first year they did Daytona. So I don't know how many people submitted for Daytona. Right? So maybe it just got in because there wasn't many. I have no idea. And I really shouldn't second guess it. But it's just one of those things where I love the quilt and I'm glad it's done. And I look back at, like, the reels and things I made for it. And I'm like, did I really do all that? Do you have any projects you ever feel like that? Where you just kind of, I'm sorry. I thought I was over this cough and it just won't go away.
Well, all the talking.
Yeah, that's true. And I didn't have any tea. I've been drinking coffee. But do you have any projects like that where you look back and you're like, did I really make that? Did I really do that?
Trying to think. Maybe.
How about you, chat? You guys that have any projects that you've ever, like, looked back and you're really proud of and you're like, did I really do that? You gotta tell me. I'm nosy. You gotta put information into my face. I'm so awkward. Okay. I apologize.
Who's saying what? Since I can't
Nobody's
see the
saying
chat.
anything yet. That's why I'm asking them a question, because they all got quiet. They're all going to sleep.
Sleeping?
They might be. I feel that way about the shit I just finished, says Amanda.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah. And Jody says Sprout.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's a team effort, man. We've been working hard on that. I'm really proud of us for that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, regular quilter business people doing all of that themselves? Like what we're doing right now, just doing all that themselves?
No.
I think I would have lost my mind. Joe says mine are also basic. Now, I don't believe that for a second.
I don't
you
either.
Design panels of fabric that are absolutely gorgeous.
I was going to say, she's designing it from the ground up.
Right? Exactly. And like that porcupine panel that she just did a giveaway for. Oh my god, I'm so jelly. Like, I want that panel so bad. Like, I don't know what I'd make out of it.
Is it a porcupine or a hedgehog?
I don't know.
I thought it was a hedgehog.
It's probably a hedgehog.
Ask her.
Joe's gonna tell us here in a second. Whiskey Tango says her turned applique. Her hand turned applique.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Shikamaru says, really hard to believe I didn't fuck it up. Fuck what up? Oh. So not quilt related, but my PC rig you have now. Yeah, you built that all yourself. He built his computer, his whole complete rig, and ordered the parts and the cooling rig and all that kind of stuff. It can. Cool. I don't do that. I don't feel comfortable enough. I don't feel comfortable enough with electronics in general. You know. Amanda says that it's so cute. I think she means the panel. A hedgehog. Yes. Joe says it is a hedgehog.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Joe.
Yeah.
I was listening to watching a video the other night, and actually I was only listening to it, but the speaker was describing someone who had taken her class, and she was just going on and on and on, and I'm like, that sounds like Joe. Is that Joe? Is she talking about Joe? Sure enough.
Joe says, was it Allie Ride?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Joe is famous.
See? I told you, Joe. I told you. The world's just got to catch up to you. Really, truly. I full-heartedly believe that. Because where Joe is coming from with her fabric, just, it needs to be made. It needs, that representation needs to happen.
It does.
Yeah. Yeah. You look tired.
I'm very tired.
I'm very tired.
You're very tired.
Oh, Joe says, I've had a few ask if I am the oil field Joe.
Yes.
Oil field
that's
Joe.
What I heard.
What is... like, I've never heard that term. I assume it's people who are working on the oil rigs.
But Ali Ride mentioned someone and gave like a laundry list of accomplishments, and working in the oil fields was one of the things on the list, and it was Joe. It was our Joe she was talking about.
Wow.
So Ali Ride is describing Joe's accomplishments in her pretty much her funnel to her big class.
So why not just shout her out in general and say Joe Simpson of Joe Simpson Design or something?
Well, I think it was, I mean, she kept everybody. She named a few people or described a few people,
Right.
their accomplishments, and she kind of left it kind of vague.
Ambiguous. Yeah.
Hmm.
See, I can see the point of that, but at the same time, intrigue. Yeah, I guess so, Joe. But
Hmm.
it's like using your testimonial or your experiences and marketing with it without really giving you a kickback, right? And that's kind of where it kind of bugs me a little bit, like somebody that big. But at the same time,
No, do you need a kickback for a tutorial or for a testimonial?
no. I mean, but see, the thing about testimonials, for the most part, like I did one for patchwork for Shannon
Hmm.
Brinkley, and she
Hmm.
listed me and
Hmm.
my image, right, and my profile picture.
Hmm.
So because it means more, I think, when you
Well, this
actually can
was
put the
verbal.
face.
This was
Right.
verbal.
That's true.
Hey,
Hmm.
my game crashed.
Yeah.
So shut the whole
So
Hmm.
lift each other up and give names, says Lori. Yeah.
It's 9 o'clock.
Hmm.
Yeah. I could agree to that. But
Well, she said enough for me to recognize her,
right,
but
but Joe.
hmm,
Joe, and Joe's story, right?
right,
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
right. But here again, I've never met her in person.
Yeah, that's true. I know, but you know a lot about people in the industry. Like, if I have a question about somebody, professional in the
Who
industry,
is somebody?
yeah, I just ask you. Okay, Joe, or Stitch, tell me. Hey, Scotty, welcome to the stream, my friend. Yeah, so it's one of those things where, like, especially at market, it was so good to be able to have you, like, because the running joke, guys, was like, if Stitch didn't know the person, they'd know her, she'd know him by the end of the conversation, like. But I
No.
mean, you've also been in the industry and kind of like, you used to do ghost quilting for companies and
Mhm.
ghost quilt making for companies and that kind of thing. So you've kind of had your finger on the pulse of the
Mhm.
industry for a while,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
that's where you're kind of getting that insider information, right, to kind of know
Yep.
where things are going and who to work
Yep.
with.
Yep. But I came in it kind of backwards. Most people now they come in it, they take a class, they build a website, they set up their emails, and then they start making money. Well, I was making money before I even intended to have a business.
Right. But I mean, is that really true? Because you kind of had this grandiose plan of being in the quilting business,
This was my retirement plan
right?
for the age I have not reached yet.
How do you feel about that? About getting to
That I haven't reached that age yet?
well,
Or
no, that you're accomplishing all these things before your intended time, right? Because
well,
by the time
I
you
mean,
reach a retirement age, you're going to be rolling in it and going to be a big somebody,
so this was my retirement plan for what to retire to.
right?
I don't know if what you think about retirement, but my idea of retirement is not, okay, I don't have to do anything today. No, that's not my idea of retirement.
No,
That's wasting away.
right?
Um, but I was gonna spend, like a 10-year plan dipping my toe into everything and having
Right.
everything situated. and then I would have everything set up, a website and equipment and whatever. But the company that I worked for downsized
Mm-hmm.
and sold off parts and pieces, kind of like they do in the movies.
Yeah.
You know, big companies are sold off in parts and pieces. And my retirement plan came up sooner than later. So rather than when I lost my job through downsizing, rather than going back into the same field,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I just chose to go this route, but I wasn't set up and ready.
Right.
So I didn't have a website. I wasn't sending email, nothing. I didn't have Facebook or Instagram. I didn't have any of that, but
But
I
I
was
think
still
that
working and
worked for
making
you.
money.
Yeah. I think you got in at the right time for that. Because I
Word
think
of
for
mouth.
you, yeah, well, and at that time, it wasn't as imperative to have all those things, right? And,
It's still not to make money,
right,
but for
growth.
credentials, it's kind of like the resume. You
Mm-hmm.
have to have that. It's the business card.
Yeah. Yeah, because companies like seeing your numbers. They like seeing your growth. They like seeing your reach and that kind of thing. And
But those numbers don't equate to dollars in your bank account.
no, depending on how you approach it and how you use it, right? You have to know how to use all of that
True.
and not just like go willy-nilly at it. I mean, that's kind of like, well, first of all, Purple says you're inspiring. So, yeah.
Oh.
But that's kind of how like I approach things.
Thank you, Lori.
In the first iteration of my business, like when I was doing the quilt design commissions and art quilts and stuff specifically, right? I wasn't worried about emails and growing a community. I was like posting on Instagram and watching that kind of grow slowly but surely and not knowing really how to do any, like, it wasn't until I actually wanted to sit down and invest time into learning the business side of things that I really kind of got all the different puzzle pieces to put together. And now I feel like I have at least some of the picture, right? There's still a lot of work to do. But I feel like I'm on a good path, right?
Right. But, okay, so let's go full circle on this.
Mhm.
Okay, as far as being in the business, we're friends on Discord and in our pattern writing group and in Sprout. But you and I also have something else in common that kind of goes along with this number thing and social media, and we're in a new group.
The Maywood Makers.
Yes.
I was wondering where you're going. I'm like, I know I'm a goldfish. Where am I going with this? Yeah, you're a Maywood Maker this year as well. And I'm so excited that we're both Maywood Makers together. Because I was like,
that's cool.
Well, and I felt so, I still feel bad. But it's like, I didn't even know about this program. I didn't even know it existed. Except for the people in our group saying, hey, yeah, I'm applying for this. It's a really good program to be a part of, an ambassadorship, all this other stuff. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll apply for it. Why not? Why the hell not? And then I get it and they didn't. And I'm like, ah, shit. I wasn't like fully like, I'm excited that I got it and I'm grateful and I'm like glad the universe decided to go in that path. But like, I didn't want it the same way as everybody else. So it's like, and I still don't know what exactly we're doing half the time. Like,
well, we're about to find out.
Yeah, that's true. We've got our first project.
One.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's under wraps. We can't really talk about it because we really don't know anything about it. And actually, I don't know, can you talk about the challenge we had today for Maywood Makers? I don't think there's nothing saying we can't.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right, so today, we have a Facebook group for the Maywood Makers that is to bring us all together and kind of like have us help get to know each other. Honestly, I feel like they need a Discord. Because I think there'd be more interaction that way, maybe. Who knows? But, t- so the person in charge is posting all these things and kind of like introduction things and all this other stuff. And so our first project is coming up soon, and she posted a challenge because we're doing a. I don't know. I'm not going to list the type of project we're going to do, but it is similar to what they did last year, so it's not really hush hush secret. But we're all going to make a thing, and it has to do with the alphabet, I think. And instead of letting everybody just go whole ham and picking and having all these duplicates, they put a challenge. They gave us a sentence that was somewhere on their website for Maywood Studio. And the first person who found it and messaged the Instagram and all that got to pick first. And then decide what else everybody else got. And I found it. I was third. But Stitch was number one. Stitch was number one. And when she told me, when I got the message back, like, oh, good job, you're third. You guys are so quick. And I'm like, oh, okay. It was like just that awkward, like, okay, I'm not as quick. I guess I gotta be on the ball on these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you get to pick first, and you get to pick for everybody else. So that's gonna be interesting to see how you divvy it up and everything, right?
Yeah, that's not necessarily a fun thing, you know.
No, it could put a lot of pressure on you, right?
Yeah. Like do you watch like Big Brother and stuff
Yeah.
like that?
Mm-hmm.
So, when they have to
like
choose
survival
for everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's not necessarily a good
No, it shows who you.
thing.
But like for this, I don't think it's as big of a deal because it isn't like you're getting like a spa treatment or something like that over everybody else, right?
No, true.
I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited too.
Mm-hmm.
The wheels are already turning. I don't know what kind of parameters
I
we'll
have no idea. Well, my thing is
Yeah.
like I'm an applique artist, so whatever they do, I hope they're okay with applique because that's where we're going. I'm taking you on an applique ride, guys. I have thought about offering the people in the Maywood, like, hey, if you want to come on the stream and check and see what it's about, more than welcome. Kind of like what we did with Sprout. Maybe after H&H, I might suggest something like that, just so, yeah. But
that's an idea.
Yeah. Because I know, I've been talking about Twitch and OBS and all this other stuff to the community, the quilter community in general for a while now. And I feel like people are actually kind of starting to listen a little bit. Because, I have 2 workshops coming up in March and April where I'm teaching OBS. So, that should be fun.
Tell me the difference for business between Twitch and YouTube.
Oh, that's a loaded question. Well, do you have 20 minutes for me to talk about it? Or
if you can hang, I can.
Okay. Well then, let's take a 5-minute break so I can run to the restroom.
Okay, I'll do the same.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick break. I'm going to put the Be Right Back screen on. Go potty. Go get new drinks. It's Friday night. If you're not drinking an adult beverage, I don't know what you're doing with your life. I'll see you in just a few minutes, guys. Oh boy, I am back. We're gonna hang out for a minute while we wait for our guest of honor to return. I hope you all got your potty breaks in real quick and you got your drinks refreshed. I didn't make new coffee. I wanted to get back really quick. Yeah. How's everybody doing tonight? Are you guys enjoying your Friday night? Bug is totally destroying it at this game. Is she at Pale World? Is she doing good? I mean, we've been waiting. We saw this game and we knew. Because Bug is a huge Pokemon nerd. Bigger than I am, even, when I was her age. And you and I have been playing Ark for years. And playing survival games. So I feel like this is the perfect marriage for us. So we'll have to see how it's going, right? Of course, it crashed right at 9. Oh, man. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. Well, and it's still in beta, so that's a thing. Oh, she's back. Hold on. Welcome back. I'm going to put us back over here.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, howdy. You doing okay?
Doing good.
I know it's late for you.
It's late, and I just took Max out, and it's cold.
Yeah, it is cold. You're colder than we are right now, so...
Just a little bit.
Oh, man.
But nothing like Joe.
Mm-mm.
Or
Joe
Lori.
and Lori,
Oh.
yeah. Man, you Canadians, you guys are nutso, you know? Like, holy crap on a cracker. I don't know how people live in those kinds of places. Like, the extreme heat and the extreme cold, like, humans are just not meant for those kinds of areas. Thank you, technology, right?
Yeah. I would like, on one of our Sunday talks, I would like Joe and Lori, and for that matter, Jody, to give us a demo of how they get dressed to go outside.
Right? Lori says hardcore. She's heavy metal over there, man. It takes a different kind of person. We have somebody in our Sprout community. She's up in Alaska.
True.
And honestly, oh my god, I don't know if she's in the stream tonight or not, but she is just the cutest, like the sweetest person. Because it was Monday stream. We're doing a seasonal quilt. And I was trying to figure out how to make the template. Because I got in my head that I needed to make a king-size quilt that's like kind of round with pies. So I'm trying to figure out how to make these wedges. And I finished streaming all that other stuff. And I checked an email through my website. Like, that doesn't normally happen. And it wasn't spam. It wasn't some random person, like, wanting my money for SEO or whatever. It was actually Sharon from Alaska. She had been watching the stream, and she was giving me her, like, things. And, of course, like, I had a feeling it was her, because her email didn't specifically say, Sharon from Alaska. You know what I mean? But you know my goldfish brain. I can't remember, like, everybody's handles and emails and all that. So I had a feeling, and, you know, we ended up kind of exchanging emails back and forth. And she's like, well, yeah, I'm the only Alaskan in Sprout. I'm like, I knew it was you. But I was like, I didn't want to assume.
Right.
But it was just the sweetest thing, like, that she actually reached out. And she didn't know how to talk in chat. Because, like, that's not something really we talk about much, about how you need to actually create a username in order to get in. You can at least watch, which is kind of nice.
That's
right?
what I do. I just watch.
You just watch. And that's fine. You know what we call people who just watch?
Oh gosh, what?
We call you lurkers. We call you lurkers, and it's not a bad thing. I even have an emote. It's the lurker emote. Where's my channel? There we go. I'll put it in the chat. My little lurker emote. But like for our community for streaming, lurkers are a good thing. Like, you're a valid member of this community, whether you lurk or you chat, right? Because for a lot of people, you get social anxiety, and maybe you just want to watch somebody play a game, or maybe you just want to hear somebody talk in the background, right? Everybody has their own reasons. And so you're still, I don't want to say you're still a statistic, but as far as, like, for me as a streamer, you still count. You're still a part of this community. You know what I mean?
Okay. So for me, I kept trying to get signed in
Mm-hmm.
to chat,
Yeah.
and I kept getting kicked out. So I just said the heck with it, and
Do
I'm
you have
just
a
a lurker.
username for Twitch and all that?
Hmm.
Hmm. Were you
I'm
on
okay.
mobile or were you on desktop?
Desktop.
Hmm. I don't know. Have you like validated or verified or whatever that you're a real human being?
I don't. That might have been the gate that I couldn't get past. I don't remember now.
Right.
Um, but I tried a couple of times, and then I just said, No, okay, we're okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
okay
because
to
it's one of
lurk."
those things. Like I used to. So this is kind of going into your question, but kind of like
Okay.
side part two. But for Twitch and for live streaming on YouTube too, you
Mhm.
have your chat box where viewers
Mhm.
can talk to you and ask questions and things like that, right? And especially being a smaller streamer or a new streamer, you'll have
Mhm.
people who come in and troll, who try to be
Mhm.
big old bullies or whatever because they think they're
Right.
hot shit.
Right.
And so they'll come in, like, when I first started streaming, God, I can't believe it's been over 7 years now. But, like, when I first started, I'd have people that come in and say, "You're fat." I'm like, of course I'm fucking
Mm.
fat. I can see in the mirror. Like, okay, that's
No
great. Let's
sense
move
in
on.
that.
Yeah. But so, in order to combat that, you have um, stipulations you can add to your chat and to your channel of things like you have to have a verified email to chat in this,
Mhm.
or you can go as far as saying you have to have a valid phone number to
Oh
chat in my
wow.
chat because it's
Okay.
trying to make sure that these people are actually people and not because
Mhm.
like bot raids happen and things like that. And so making sure that the people who are in your channel are actually people are
Yeah.
important, right? So there's that, and there's all kinds of different moderation tools and things. And like, I know you can't see chat, but like Oshemi has a little green icon that has a sword, right?
Mhm.
It means he's a moderator, which gives him extra
Okay.
tools to like ban people. So if they come in here and start being offensive or just being jerky, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
he can wave the ban hammer and just knock him out, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's kind of one of the things, and that goes hand in hand with live streaming on Twitch and on YouTube, right?
Mhm.
And you asked a question now, is there like something specific you're looking for, like the differences between the two, or?
No, no. I'm not looking for anything specific. I'm just as far as business, as far as fun,
Mm-hmm.
I can. My guess is that if you're a gamer on Twitch, you might as well hang out in the comfortable community. But I'm talking business.
So,
As a business,
okay.
why one over the other?
So I'll stop you right there, and with the gaming
Okay.
thing, that's a business too, right?
Okay.
Because we
Okay.
have. So it's no secret that I watch a lot of gamers, a lot of content
Mhm.
creators, right?
Mhm.
And their business is playing games and interacting with their community and growing and getting the sub
Mhm.
revenue coming in, right?
Okay.
Like, for example, somebody that I have followed for as long as I've been on Twitch, he's, I'd say, a mid-tier streamer, right? And he plays a
Mhm.
variety of video games. He
Mhm.
just had a baby. And he's
Well.
been making a living off of this and supporting him and his wife for the last 7 years. And then he has a
Mhm.
baby, a big life event, and it's disrupted his work, how often he can stream.
Right.
He's also very active in helping with the baby and all that other stuff.
Mhm.
And that's affected how many people come out to see him. He has people
Mhm.
who, and it's the same thing whether we're quilters or gamers or whatever. There are people in whatever industry you're at who feel like
Mhm.
they're entitled to you, entitled to your time,
Mm.
right? And
Mm.
especially when you've
Mhm.
had like a community for a long time and
Mhm.
somebody who's
Mhm.
bought a lot of patterns or been subbed to
Mhm.
you for a long time or whatever,
Mhm.
when you change, they feel entitled. Like, why I, his specific example, he actually had somebody was like, having a baby's not a good enough reason to stop streaming as often and not being here. Like, I've been subbed to you for this many years, and I expect better from you. Like, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, when you're creators like we are, because we make content too. We just make a different type of content, right? People can feel entitled to that, and when things change, it scares people, especially when you have become a part of their life, right?
This is sounding really familiar right now. Keep going.
That's my thing. So, like, just because somebody's a gamer doesn't mean it's not a business for them, right? And one of the big things for them, and also this ties into us too, talking about whether YouTube or Twitch, right? I like Twitch. I've been here on Twitch for a while. Twitch started, originally before it was even Twitch, as a IRL streaming platform for people who were either just talking or cooking or crafting, whatever. And then gaming came after. And then Amazon bought, and it became Twitch, right? That kind of thing happened, right? And the gaming blew up. And us creators and makers...
Whoa. Oh, go back to Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon...
owns Twitch.
Okay.
That's why, like...
Of course they do, right?
Well, that's a big can of worms we could get into, too. Because Twitch isn't profitable for Amazon.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things kind of changing right now in the Twitch sphere that is causing a lot of shift towards YouTube and dual streaming, right?
Okay.
So, like, for example, anyone who's watching right now, if you're a Twitch Prime member, you can subscribe to my channel right now for free. You just have to link your Amazon Prime to your Twitch, and you can support me with a sub. You get access to all my emotes. Like, you have to be able to sell yourself, right? We sell ourselves with our patterns and stuff, too.
Okay. Keep going.
All right, so there's that part. Back, rewinding a little bit, my creator friend, his name is Venilus, right? Or that's his handle. Okay? Because of everything kind of going on with Twitch, and one of the things that Twitch struggles with the most is discoverability, which YouTube has that algorithm pretty set, even though there's a whole ecosystem happening with YouTube at the moment as well for that. But for him, he just had this baby. He's kind of like his community shifting a little bit. He did not spend the time diversifying his platform necessarily and spending more time engaging on... Am I too loud?
Very loud.
I'm sorry. Thank you for letting me... Oshemi, my sound guy, is telling me I'm too loud. I apologize.
Oh, okay.
I woke up the baby? I woke the baby. You got it. I'm sorry. I woke up the baby. But anyway, so... You need to kind of diversify, right? And that's why us as quilters, we've been looking at YouTube to post videos, right? Recently, Twitch has always had this kind of thing. If you stream on Twitch, you are on Twitch, right? They didn't want to share you. They didn't want you streaming on Facebook Gaming. They didn't want you streaming on YouTube. If you did, you had to do it differently, and you couldn't upload anything you did on Twitch for like 24 hours, right?
Was there a penalty if you did?
So for me, like, I'm an affiliate. That allows me to earn revenue here. People can subscribe, people can donate, people can do biddies, things like that. If you're a partner, partners used to get a bigger revenue split. Now everybody's 50-50 for revenue. But there are perks for being a partner. But so if you were a partner or an affiliate, you couldn't go and dual stream to any of the platforms. Well, recently, just this past year at TwitchCon, which is like their big convention, right? Kind of like our market, right? They announced that they were getting rid of that clause. That we could now dual stream. I can simultaneously stream here to Twitch and to YouTube if I want. And I'm planning on starting that in February. It's something I've been kind of thinking about for a while. But that's something that helps you diversify because the creators who were not only streaming on Twitch, but also re-uploading their VODs over to YouTube, even if they weren't making regular videos on anything, if they were also engaging over there, they were building their community bigger and bigger. And it's all about bringing your community with you, right? It's very hard to get a fresh start on a platform nowadays like this. Like, if you already have an established community, like our Sprouts coming over. I've had, like, 20 follows just from our Sprout, right? And on a platform where discoverability is one of the weakest points, the fact that I got that much in the first month of a new year is huge, right? But I'm uploading these streams over to my YouTube channel, right? And I'm growing that slowly and surely. So, and I can stream over on YouTube as well, right? And they have a very similar, they kind of like playing copycats of each other, right? So, like, YouTube has super chats, and you can subscribe and join their communities, and it's the same kind of revenue system, right? So it's like, well, why pick one over the other? It's like, well, why not do both? If you are allowed to do both, you know what I mean?
True.
Yeah.
Because before you went to H&H, you were talking about maybe
leaving Twitch. Yeah, and I still was really seriously considering that through most of the year until they announced that they were lifting that. Because as a small creator, like, why stay here when you don't feel like you're seen or that what you do is valuable to the platform, right?
Right.
But the other thing is like I said, Twitch isn't profitable. And they're trying to figure that out, right? They're kind of cutting here and there. And to stream on Twitch doesn't cost me anything.
Okay.
Doesn't cost me a thing. I don't have to pay a membership. I don't have to anything. I can just turn on and go, right? And so that takes up server space. That takes up, my VODs sitting there. Now, they don't last as long as on YouTube. YouTube, I upload a video, and as long as public or private, it's not going away, right?
Okay.
With Twitch, a video, a VOD, will stay for, depending on whether or not you're a Prime member or not, it can stay 30 days or 60 days. Now, I could re-upload the stream as a video that I've uploaded to the platform, and then it'd be accessible. But why am I doing that?
Go back. You said depending on whether you're a Prime member or not.
Right.
So that's the viewer. That's up to the viewer, not the streamer.
No, that's on the streamer.
So you mean if you are a Prime member?
If I am a Prime member and I've hooked that up to my Twitch and all of that integration, Twitch knows whether or not I'm Prime. So it knows whether or not it should save my videos for 60 days or for 30 days.
Okay. So here's, you telling me that Amazon owns Twitch.
Yep.
Makes the whole puzzle very interesting. So if Amazon owns Twitch and Google owns
YouTube.
Yep. Who's bigger?
Google. Because you have Google, which is the largest search engine.
Exactly.
With their second largest search engine, YouTube, which isn't really a search engine. Now, the whole reason why Amazon bought Twitch was to get their hands on the tech. They do that all the time. They buy up little companies to get their hands on the tech.
Right.
And they couldn't just melt this company down. There's too many people. Pal World has crashed like 5 times. It just might be late, honey. It's a new game. He's playing a new game that just launched today that's in beta. But here's another little gear, and I know it's a lot for everybody who's not like super into the that side of things, but I find it interesting. I like learning this stuff. So, Amazon owns the servers that Twitch uses to live stream and to host the VODs and all this other stuff, right? And Amazon pretty much foots the bill because they own Twitch. Well, a new platform was started last year, I think. Maybe it was the year before, but it got really big last year, called Kick.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a platform where people who had been banned from Twitch for gambling went to Kick, and they found a Kick. And the creators over there get a bigger cut. It's like a 90% cut of any subs or anything that they get.
Mm-hmm.
But the trick there is that Kick is making all of their money off of people gambling on cryptocurrency.
Ooh.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Ooh.
But
Okay.
Kick, so the code of how Twitch and their website and platform work was leaked, and Kick got a hold of it, made their platform, so it's pretty much a mimic, and Kick rents server and pays for server space from Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
So Amazon's actually making money from Kick, where they're not making any money from Twitch. They also allegedly stole the code from Twitch. Yeah, allegedly. But, yeah. So it's just this interesting, because once you kind of like pull the curtains back a little bit and kind of see what's going on, and I will say, it doesn't matter whether I'm on Twitch or YouTube, there is a barrier between me and like the people who are in charge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm a creator for Twitch, but I have no idea who to contact if, like, because there'll be situations all the time where a content creator was banned for something for no reason, or it's in the wrong thing or whatever, and they can't get a hold of anybody to actually talk about the situation.
Right.
And so there'll be content creators who rely, like you do with your long arming, they rely on people, the being able to stream for the revenue. They're strangleholded for months, sometimes a year, before it can be resolved, if ever.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the same kind of thing can happen over at YouTube. And I know streamers on both platforms, so I know kind of like the downsides of YouTube streaming too. Because there can be issues with algorithm pushing and things. Like...
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. I could talk for another hour easily, and getting into nitty-gritty differences, but like that's something we can talk about later, because I don't want... Everybody's already asleep.
And, do we have any of our Sprout buddies still there?
Yeah, I think they're all there. We still have a good amount of people watching. Does anybody have any questions for Stitch before she falls asleep? Because it is really late for her.
I'm starting to blink really slow.
TJ's still here, she says. Does anybody have any questions before we let Stitch and Max get to bed? Max is so sweet. Such a goodie.
Max is snoozing.
He's already asleep. He's already done. So, let me ask you this, Stitch.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Purple asks... I'll wait on my question. Purple asks...
Oh, goodness.
What was the inspiration for your block?
Half rectangle triangles. I was looking for a way to use them. I really was.
Yeah.
Okay, now, let me go a little bit further. I'm looking to see if I have a partial block over here somewhere that I can show you. No, I don't. My favorite star block. Gosh, I can't find anything over on the wall. Normally I have a sample block. I don't see anything. My favorite star block is the star with the long legs, like a 5440 or fight.
Okay.
Star. Does that tell you anything?
No.
Anyway, if you take that star and hang on, I've got a sneak peek of something over here.
Oh, good, because this ties into the question after that was, what is your next project?
Oh, it's not this. My next project is a secret one.
Ooh.
That has just recently come up.
Ooh. This is how we were talking about things kind of get pushed to the forefront.
Yeah. Okay. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
No, other way. Yeah, there you go. Right there. Stay right there. There you go.
Okay. The star legs, I have no idea how to point to this.
Yeah,
but
no,
the
you're
star
doing
leg,
good.
right in the middle.
Yeah. Think of putting it right in front of your face. If you put it in front of, there you go. Now you're perfect.
Okay, but now I don't know how to point to it.
You can see through the paper.
Okay.
That
so
right
if
there.
if you drew a line
Mm-hmm.
right through there, there's a half rectangle triangle.
Yeah.
Now this unit is not a half rectangle triangle.
Right. It's a type of flying geese.
No.
No?
It's a triangle and a square.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Flying geese would be back here.
Yeah, but it's kind of the same thing. It's a triangle with flaps on it.
Well, this one has to be made with something specialty.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But
it doesn't have to if they use the technique that you did, right?
That's the point.
Yeah.
This does not have a seam down the middle.
Right. But you just have to add one.
Down the middle.
Yeah.
Right. But as a long armor, you want less seams.
Right.
So this would be the way. But this is a unit, this part right here is a unit that people shy away from.
Right.
Because it takes a specialty ruler or paper piecing.
Right. And I would rather just have that seam, even though it might make more work for you as my long armor. If it means I get the pattern done, I'd rather have the seam, right?
Well, and some people are like that, but
Yeah.
that's the inspiration for going to the half rectangle triangle.
I gotcha.
But that seam back here, like with the flying geese block, a lot of people, like you said, add the seam to half square triangles back to back, make a flying geese block.
I've done that before.
It's kind of the same deal.
Yeah.
But that's how it
just different ways to solve the same problem. I gotcha.
Correct.
We have an interesting question here from a Mr. Oshemi.
Oh, goodness.
He says, is it easier to get financing with a business plan, or is it only based on credit for the long arms?
So, okay, I did not finance my long arm, but I do know from when I was still in the talking stages before I actually bought one, they were telling me all about it because, they're wooing me, trying to get me to buy from them. And I do know that an already established business has a leg up on getting financing over a non-existent business wanting to buy the long arm to start the business. So if you can prove that you've already been in business and making money.
Right, well that's the thing is like how much are they expecting that business to run? Because that's sometimes the thing I've thought about.
You're already in the world.
But I've looked at doing like a business loan to try and get more inventory or to get bigger print orders and things like that to kind of get things moving a little more. And they want to see that you're in business X amount of years and that you're making X amount of profit. Right? And yeah, I've been in business long enough, technically, because I have the EIN to prove it and you can trace that. But I don't have the profit and the income that they want.
Right.
So that, I think, is the other thing that kind of goes in for this is like, all right, will they listen and talk with somebody even if we don't have the credit or the profit margin, but we are an established business and have a business plan,
Buying a... Okay, so not only am I a long armor, but in my previous life, I was in banking and finance. So I have a little bit of insight on that side.
Yeah.
I never worked for a company that financed this type thing.
Right.
I did cars and houses. But it would be similar to a car loan or a house loan in that there is a tangible object that is used as collateral.
Right.
So you have a little bit better chance to get... It's easier to get a car loan than it is to get a personal loan.
Right.
It would be easier to finance a long arm than it would be to
get a business loan.
Get a business loan to buy inventory.
Right.
Make sense?
And the long arm could help to getting the inventory because if you're making money off of the long arm, it helps supplement that.
Right. But the long arm could be you could take it as baby steps.
Yeah.
If you, I mean, you have to sit down and put it on paper, get an idea, get a plan, um, with your time and who's going to do what and where it's going to go and
Mm-hmm.
your basic supplies to get going, how long it's going to take, and
How
how
you're
much
gonna
time
get the
you're going to,
clients.
right, how much time you're going to allow yourself to invest before you're turning a profit. But figure out, do the math, get online and go into some kind of lending program calculator
Right.
to determine how much your monthly payments would be on your long arm.
Well, I know Innova has that on their website.
Well, do the calculation. Do the calculation.
Yeah.
Bump it up higher than you expect.
Right.
Then turn around and do the math. How many quilts? And all the quilts are not queen size quilts,
No.
Luke.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
that was just for him to quit his day
I
job.
know. I know. Well,
Yeah.
and see, you don't have to
You don't
close
have to
one
go
door and
that far. Mm-hmm.
exactly. Start baby steps, baby steps. Um,
Excuse me.
uh, yeah. So if you started with him keeping his day job,
Mm-hmm.
you doing what you do, but adding to, and Luke knows you're adding to, so he needs to pick up some slack somewhere too.
Oh, he has. He's been
You're
doing.
in it together.
Well, and like he just
Um,
said, with the amount of working from home he's doing right now, he could do both because he's doing a lot of
well,
programming from home.
how many quilts would you have to quilt per month just to cover your monthly payment? Then how many quilts would you have to quilt per month to maybe make 2 payments a month?
To
Get it
kind of
paid off
catch up.
faster.
Yeah.
And that's most people's goal that finance it.
Mm-hmm.
They're just trying to get it paid off as quickly as possible
Yeah.
so that all of a sudden it's pure profit.
Right. Which would be
Um,
lovely.
mhm,
The fact that he
yeah.
keeps asking these questions, like when I say he's seriously thinking about it.
Okay, so what I keep hearing is he. I don't hear you saying you're interested in it.
So it's one of those things for people who don't know how Luke and I we're partners in life and partners in business as well.
Mhm,
He is a we. Yes, I know purple, but at the same time, like my main focus in our business, in mine and Luke's
mhm.
business, is the pattern design and the quilt making and all that. Like that's my
Right,
focus of that area. And
right.
he wants to do the long arming, A, because he's
Mhm,
really interested in the technology. He
mhm,
really is smitten with that idea, and it's bringing him more into this world. And he's seeing it
mhm,
as a way to add to the business and to
mhm.
help him not be so reliant on his day
Right,
job, right?
right.
So it's not necessarily because, like, I'm not planning on doing edge to edge, right? I'm
Mhm,
not. I can help, and I will, and loading and unloading and things like that, right? But as far as like that's concerned, it'll be marketed as him doing it, right? It'll be him. It'll be our business. But honestly, like as you're talking, it's like kind of want to get it because I want to be able to do my quilts on my
mhm,
timetable with the long arm and not be
mhm.
scrambling because you know how last minute I am with everything, right? So you can thread paint like a hot dame on a long arm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing, but like at the same time, I kind of want him to have something that makes him excited, right? And not take over.
So you do your thing during the day, and he does his thing when he gets home. But okay, think about this. Some of the more profitable long arm businesses that I
Mhm.
know of that aren't, I mean, they're the ones that are earning their money from long arming have multiple people in the business,
Yeah.
whether it's 2 or 6 or whatever. Um, And sometimes that combination, one person is doing all the intake and the invoicing, and the other person is doing all the quilting.
Right.
So you could still work both sides and increase your numbers higher than what I can do, because I don't have that person to do the intake and to do the invoices.
Right.
I have to stop. I have to stop and meet the people, that kind of thing. But let's go to a step further. There are very profitable long arm businesses out there who have one or more long arms that they run daily,
Right.
but they also have independent contractors that work for them that have long arms in their house or their studio, and they just don't want to do the tax paperwork, or they don't want to meet the client, or they don't want to keep up with inventory and that kind of stuff.
Right.
So the main source builds the business, does all the paperwork, does everything, but then feeds these other long armers work for a smaller price so that the main person can then invoice it at a higher price and they take a cut.
Right.
These places are turning out 10 quilts a day.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Have you thought about scaling to that level, or if that's not where you want to go?
No, that's not where I want to go.
Yeah.
Not where I want to go. Remember, this was a retirement gig for me. And the amount of income I originally planned for this is not the amount of income that I want to make or need to make now, but I'm still not looking to do 10 quilts a day.
Right.
I want to build the patterns and the teaching and that kind of
things.
stuff too. Mm-hmm.
Luke says for a Nova 18 feet, 18 to 28 with autopilot would be between 4 and 6 per month.
Okay, so you do 3 quilts a month and you're good.
No, I think what he's saying is like you'd have to do 4 to 6 per month to be able to make the payment.
Okay, I thought he was saying 400 to 600 a month.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, I think he's saying 4 to 6 queen size quilts to cover it.
Mm-hmm. What's the going rate for edge to edge in your area? Amanda might know before you would.
I know Oshemi actually looked it up not that long ago. It's the same around what yours is.
Okay.
It's I think 25 to 2.5.
2.5 cents.
Yeah. Yeah, Oshemi says it'd be a payment of 700 to 1,000 a month for a payment.
That's higher than I thought.
Well, he's looking at probably it's 2 cents per inch here, he says.
That's what I charge. But people around me charge more.
Well, and I was talking to Amanda about that. And I figure it's probably because we're in such a dense area, there's a lot more people doing it. So there's a lot less need. Right?
I'll tell you this, the bigger name you make for yourself, the more you can charge. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this, and this is going to come across not like me at all, but I've had a few people want me to long arm their quilts simply because they've seen my name in a magazine.
Well, that's good though.
It is
brand recognition.
But that's the point. That's the point I'm telling you. So the more well known you are.
Well, and this is going to kind of sound a little shallow, but the whole reason why I want it to be his thing and for him to be the face of it is because guys get more attention and typically grow faster in this industry.
I do.
So,
I do.
Even though we're a team, if he's that face, that side, man, do people get excited to see a guy quilt. Man, do they get excited.
Well, let's do this too. Especially long arming, computerized long arming, it's more of a tech job than it is an artistic job.
True.
Now, does it take both? Yes, it does. To be good, it takes both.
Right. Well, and I think that's something that once he starts learning how it works, I have a feeling he might start dabbling in the free motion
Mhm.
just to play. He says the Innova 18 is 32 and the Innova M28 is 45,000 for total cost.
There should be one in between the 28 and the 18.
I think there is.
Is it a 22?
Is it the
What's
22 or is it a
Amanda?
24? I don't know if Amanda's still here, dear.
Okay.
She might have
Mine
gone
is
to
a
bed.
20. Mine's a 26, but they don't.
Make that one.
Mine's a classic, and
Right.
the M's didn't exist when I bought mine.
Yeah, the M's are the new ones. And like the M28 comes with like the latest technology or whatever for that computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. The M28 is red, I believe. The 18 is purple.
Mm-hmm. 18,
Um,
22, 26, M20, M24, M28.
I have the 26. But yeah, I started out. I was going to buy the 18
Mm-hmm.
without the computer, totally free motion.
Right.
And then when the dealer learned that I eventually wanted it for a business, because at the time I was still working many hours. I was still I hadn't lost my job at this point.
Right.
She tried to talk me into the computer, and I'm like, no. And I was renting.
Right.
And before you could rent time on the computer, you had to have rented X number of hours.
So you're familiar with the machine.
Period. Yeah. So I started renting the computerized, and you learn really quick that inches. An extra inch is an extra $1,000 in machine. So 2 inches is 2,000, and 3 inches, so on and so on.
It adds up.
But it does. But if you're doing it as a business, you need
that extra room.
Yep. But at the time, they made a 31 inch.
Wow.
I couldn't reach it. I couldn't reach all the way to the back, so there was no sense in me having it. Right.
Wow.
Right. And free motion, if you want to do both, you don't want a heavy machine.
Right.
You want it as light as possible. Now, mind you can move an Innova really easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you still want it as light as possible. So you have to balance.
Give and
You
take
may
a
not
little.
get the biggest if you're going to do both. But if you're going to do all computer, you go as far as you can reach.
So maybe an M24 would be
both.
the happy medium,
Maybe.
right?
Maybe. But if it's going to be, how tall is Luke?
He's 6'1", taller than me.
Okay, well, you couldn't use this one efficiently, but the 28 might be a good size for Luke. But for you, it would be too much. You would just be working in the front.
Those Stumpy arms. He listed the prices. The 18 is 32,000, 22 is 34,000, the 26 is 36,000, the M20 is 37,000, M24 41,000, M28 45,000.
That's not fully loaded with everything, because when I bought mine, it was 43, and I've had mine.
Well, because there's always not just the computer you add on, but then there's also this and that, and you're looking at probably an easy another 10,000.
True.
Jody says if it's attached to the robot, it is hard to do free motion. I'm not sure about the Innova.
You flip 2 switches and release the belts, and it's off the
thing. Is it hard to reconnect it to the belts? No. That has the autopilot. Yeah, but Stitch is saying there's other things to add on too, though, dear.
Mine is 26-inch autopilot. I have a lift where I can raise my frame up and down, so that's an extra price. I have the heavy duty caster so I can move my frame around if I wanted to.
Yeah.
That's extra. What else is extra? I have an additional light. What else is not standard over there?
I know they have for the Innova. They have like a help. It's kind of like the up and down for the machine, but it's also for loading to help you load it. Jody says hers doesn't do that.
That is.
They showed it to me at H&H last year.
Oh, I know what it is. The arms,
Yeah.
the frame lifts up, and
Yeah.
I don't think the other brands do that.
No.
Not yet, anyway. They will if there's any need. I don't use that, but
Right.
mine does that.
See, I would think that would be something, because for me, my whole trepidation that has always been with the longarm machine is a lot of people who can afford the longarm machine who aren't in the business, they can only use it for that small amount of time because the loading gets too hard the older you get, and it's cumbersome and it's tiring. And so, like, if you had that built in to help, right?
Yeah, that's not what I'm thinking of then. I don't know what, I'll have to ask what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something else. All the accessories that you add, whether it's
Well, it's like when you buy a car too. The price is only for the base edition, and then you gotta add everything else. Oh, you want heat warmers for your butt? Okay, that's another grand.
5,000.
Yeah.
No, it's another 5.
Yeah, easily.
But I'm thinking of things that aren't quite as big.
Right.
You start adding things like, if we're going to talk about a car, you start adding things like special floor mats. You want the all-weather floor mats instead of the
Thanks for
factory.
coming by, TJ. She's got to go. She's got work tomorrow. But thank you for coming.
Bye, TJ. Or what was she? Whiskey
Tango Juliet.
Okay.
Night, she says.
Good night.
We could talk about this for another hour easily, and I'm surprised you've made it. You've made it 2 hours, my dear.
Yeah, yes. I have.
Yeah, Oshemi says those prices are just the machine, the frame, some small bits and pieces, and the software.
Right.
So, I have a feeling you two are going to talk more about this more and more as we go along, because I have a feeling the closer H&H comes, the more it might be that we're looking at that. And I will say that Innova does have a creator. I don't know if you've applied for it, but they have a content creator program.
They Amanda and I went by the Innova booth at Market, and there was something mentioned, and I don't know if Amanda went back and talked to him, but I did not. But something was mentioned about that.
Might be something you want to think about, because you know you're Innova.
I do.
But that was definitely something when Ash came with me to H&H last year. That was something we were talking about with them. And one of the things was like, yeah, you need to own an Innova first. They weren't snarky about it, but it was like one of those things that I assumed, a $45,000 machine, yeah, they're not just going to give that to you to be a content creator.
Well, okay, no. Let me say this, Innova. I feel like pretty snobby about it, but Innova and Gamel are probably the two most expensive machines, and they go back and forth as to, it's kind of like Toyota and Honda. Year after year,
who's got the biggest?
Right. So Gamel and Innova are just back and forth.
Yeah.
But all the other brands, they're just fine. Absolutely just fine. It's just a matter of how hard and how much are you going to run the machine.
Yeah.
If you're just going to do your quilts, do not invest $43,000.
Right.
Now I have a friend who just quilts for herself, and she has 2 machines.
That's a lot.
She has one without robotics and one with robotics.
If you have the disposable income and you enjoy it that much, why not, right?
Right.
But I do think that I do think that's an arm of the business, as it were, that I think we're heading towards.
I can see that.
Yeah. Just because, like, I have plenty of bigger quilts that I want to do, and it would be nice to be able to do them on a larger machine and to do them myself. Because, like, the idea, as nice as it would be to pay somebody to do it, I'm just not dependable on a time scale to be able to do that kind of stuff. You know?
Yeah.
But,
another thought just crossed my mind.
ooh.
Anova used to have it, and now I've heard they're bringing it back, but they had a sit down, like the George, something similar to the George.
I don't think I'd go with a sit down again.
I have a sit down too.
Yeah.
And it was a wasted $5,000. Totally wasted.
I'm glad that I mean, because my mom still uses it. I'm glad we have it, you know, and that I learned on it and used it because it gives me a better idea of how to do it, you know, that kind of thing. But I feel like for me, my style would be more at home, because I already do that on the domestic where I'm moving. It would, instead of move the project, I'm moving the handle, right? So.
Oh, I know something and Amanda probably has this. The newer micro handles are fabulous. I don't have those.
Okay.
I don't have those.
Can you swap your machine out and upgrade them?
I can't get the M handles, but they do have some other. They kind of look like a robot. You know, you can move it all different ways. Put them wherever you want to.
Huh.
You know, some people want their handlebars like this, and some people want them like this, and maybe
that's so cool that they're giving you some variation,
and up here or down here,
wherever's comfortable for you.
And it depends on what kind of work you're doing. If you're thread painting or doing teeny tiny pebbles, you know, you might like it down here better.
Right. Nice. Awesome. Well, I could talk with you for hours, my dear, and we have talked for hours before. I hope you enjoyed being on the stream, and I hope you do think about coming back sometime. And next time we'll definitely, I'm such a terrible person, guys. I told Stitch an earlier time originally, and then when I published the thing, it was the normal time for everyone else, and I'm like, shit. She reminded me, and I'm like, I'm so bad.
Yeah, it's midnight at my house.
Yeah, it's late. But we will let you go, my dear, and I will do my roundup. But thank you so much for coming on the stream and sharing your block and your inspirations and just everything about you. You're such a wonderful person. Now, here's the Sally Alley part, right? Tell our lovely viewers and community where they can find more of you.
Stitched in Purple. Everywhere. I'm Stitched in Purple. Facebook, Instagram, website, Stitched in Purple. Yep. Anything else?
Stitch has been published in magazines. She's got patterns on her website. She's on Etsy if you guys are more comfortable with that. Follow her on Instagram. Take a look. See absolutely stunning work. Long arm patterns. You're just such a delight, and I love you. Yeah, I really do. But
more to come.
More to come. It's coming.
Something's supposed to be released either this month or next month.
Ooh. Well, we'll keep our eyes out, and I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed that you come to H&H with us. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we will let you go. Good night, Stitch.
Good night.
And we will go over here, guys. And it is getting late for me, too, because I only had like 3 hours of sleep last night. Thank you, Shikamaru, for doing all of the social stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed that interview with Stitch. She is a lovely person, and, I mean, everyone I know is a lovely person, because obviously I only know lovely people, right? I appreciate all of you. Hey, Lilith! Hey, it's good to see you, dear. But, yeah, It's been great. If you enjoyed the stream, hit the follow button. If you've got a Prime membership or you want to support the channel so you see more interviews and more patterns, and join our Discord. I just posted today, actually. There are some things I want to do for the community and do more community events and things. So if you have any ideas or you want to be part of the community and all those kinds of growing things, join the Discord, give me your opinions, and just come hang out, right? We're a bunch of nerds who game. We're a bunch of quilters who quilt. We're all nerdy about something, right? You're more than welcome to. And then I will sell out again. Thank you to HelloFresh. Shikamaru, if you could do the HelloFresh link again for me, dear. We are a HelloFresh partner for the rest of the month. I am so honored to be a HelloFresh partner for the second year in a row. We just got done with a huge ice storm here. I know a lot of the country and a lot of Canada too. We were all frozen and didn't want to go out. And HelloFresh was there for me to be able to order and have shipped and delivered to the house and cook. And I didn't have to leave. And I had more time to sew. Because, like, who can say no to that, right? But yeah. If you want to hit that link, even if you just hit the link, it looks good for me. So, yeah. Thank you to everybody for the new follows and Draconic for your resub and all of that stuff. It has been a delight this month just seeing all of our guests come on. We have a couple more weeks left, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for what's coming, and I hope you are too. Until Sunday, we have a special stream on Sunday. Adele from Pear Paw Quilting will be our guest. She's also taking part in the Sprout Quilt Challenge. She's in the UK, so that's why we're doing a special morning stream over there. So, hope you're ready for an early morning coffee or mimosa stream, right? All right. Night, guys. Have a good one.